Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Yo, what's good, y'all? What's the word? What's going on? How everybody doing out there? Y'all already know what it is, man. We back again. And it's bonus banger time. It's bonus banger time, y'all. That's a lock. It's bonus banger time, and I got one. Y'all know I keep a banger at all times. But like I always say before I start my videos off, I have no problem delivering this content to everybody that's out there working hard, working a 9 to 5. Everybody that's out there with their own business, getting to that bag the legit way. I make sure y'all got something to watch in the morning times, and I promise y'all there's no problem on my end. I also have no problem making sure I'm warning y'all and telling y'all about how dangerous prison is. I only ask for one thing, and that's for y'all to just stay out of the way, man. Because I don't want to see y'all go to jail. How many times I got to tell y'all this? I don't want to see y'all throw y'all life away and be behind bars, man. When you get locked up, your life gets thrown away. You become a nobody. You become a bill. You become worrisome. You become all those things that people say when they look at the phone and they see it's the prison calling or the jail calling. People do their face like, that's who you become. You want to become that person, man, the worrisome person that's always trying to track people down, still trying to handle stuff in prison when you know you can't? Sit your butt down somewhere, man. Stay out the way, man. Find you something else to do besides breaking the law. Breaking the law is not cool no more, by the way, man. Newsflash, man. If you out here just being a hoodlum for no reason, it ain't no bag involved, you ain't trying to accomplish nothing, you ain't got no goals, no plans, you are in the way. You are in the way, man. So you might as well just start coming over this side with us and just stay out the way for the rest of y'all life, man. Period. But y'all already know what it is, man. This is a bonus banger. So what I need y'all to do with this one? Like, share, subscribe, so y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. What? It's time for business. Time for business, y'all. And the story I got for y'all today is called He Owed the Predator. Part 1. Crazy story, crazy situation, but we are aware, people. We are in penitentiary, man. Crazy things happen all the time. And I'm telling y'all, man, like, I know from all the stories y'all done heard from me, especially the predator stories, man, y'all ask yourself the same thing I used to ask myself when I used to witness these things, man. Why do people put themselves in these predicaments? Why do people want to take that route instead of taking this route? Why don't they just do this when they can just do this? I ask myself the same thing all the time. Witnessing all these scary stories that I'm delivering to y'all, man, I ask myself the same things. Why do these dudes put themselves in these predicaments? And I'm letting y'all know now, man, I still haven't figured it out. From all the years I did and all the stuff that I witnessed, I still haven't figured out why people put themselves in predicaments, man, to be in debt to someone like a predator, man, or just be in the presence of someone like a predator, man. Like, I'm letting you know now, you'll never know the reasons. You'll never know why these people act like this or why they want to put themselves in right beside a predator. You'll never know the answers to these questions, man. But at the end of the day, it never goes good, y'all. Never. I don't care what prison I was at. It never goes good when it comes to a predator, man. So with that being said, though, we are on Susses 2 for this, y'all. We are on Susses 2. And I can remember being in 3D for this one, man. Kind of like when we first got over there, everybody's still trying to get situated, everybody running around. I just copped a job. My homeboy got a job because we figure out what was going on over there. The CO put us on early, like, yo, you want to get a job because you want to be able to move around. You want to be able to have the, you know what I mean, the green card. You want to be out your cell. You want to be able to come out at night, run around the whole building. He put us on. So me getting a job was mandatory by the time they moved us to 3D. And a lot of people started following suit that getting a job over there was kind of like the right thing to do, because anybody that follow my stories, y'all know 3D, that was the only population pod in the whole building of 4 pods. Every other pod in there, the other 3 pods, were segregation. They're the whole. They made 1 pod in their population. I never knew, but they moved us from 4 building over to 3 building, man, and put us in a population pod in the whole. So we trying to capitalize off this situation. I told y'all in the beginning, a lot of people didn't like that they had to move over here. It felt like we was isolated. It felt like we was the slow class of penitentiary. That's what it was looking like, because we was just separated kind of like, because we was the only population pod, but it had its perks to it, man. They didn't bother us that much in there. It wasn't a whole lot of police presence. They only had us to deal with, so they used to let us get away with the most stuff. So it turned out to be an okay pod. So due to midst of us being in there kind of like in the beginning, I have started to run around, you know what I mean? I'm in the hole. I used to always just go holler at certain dudes in different blocks because I can do it now with a job. So I can remember going next door, man, to 4C. And he used to always be this white dude named John. And John, he was a cool white dude. John was kind of like skinny, kind of tall white dude, probably a little taller than me, real skinny, slim. I want to say John was probably like from Spotsylvania County. I think that's where he told me he was from, man. Somewhere, I don't know if Spotsylvania is in Northern Virginia. Y'all can correct me on that if y'all want. But that's where I think he said he was from. But John wasn't a problem to nobody, man. Like, John just was trying to get out the hole. He was trying to, you know what I mean, pay me to do favors for him. Look, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Look, if you can score for me, if you can do this, you can do that, I'll look out for you. Like, he used to run plays like that with me. So I have grown from through the time of me knowing John, from just being him being in the hole. I have known to see, I have came to see that his family really cares about him. Not really, I ain't gonna say his whole family. Not saying his family don't, but I'm talking about like he had people that cared about him out there. And I'm gonna start with his girl. Like his girl was somebody, you know what I mean? You know, I don't know how long John has been down, but his girl was somebody that always answered the phone when he needed me to do a favor, because that's what you gotta do when you in the hole. You need the people that work back there that do you favors. And we was the ones that was working back there because we was in 3D. So I would have to make a couple of calls for John sometime. And I seen that he had good support out there. But as a little time went on, he was probably back in the hole for probably about 2 months. John finally got out the hole, but his luck was so good, like for real, he had a couple of guys over there that he used to rock with. So it used to be these other white dudes that was in there. They was cool white dudes. They ain't bother nobody that was in 3D. They was in 4 building when we came over there anyway. But he knew them. And he used to always be like, yo, he used to ask me about them. And they used to send him stuff, tobacco from time to time, roll-ups or whatever the case. They used to send him soups or whatever the case. So he used to be all right because he already had friends inside of 3D. And I used to rock with him a little bit. Like, I never left him out back because I used to run plays for him. He used to let me, you know what I mean, keep a portion of the play. So I never left John out back. So me and John was okay. But I never was around John outside of talking to him through a door. He's been in a hole the whole time. Little time went on, like I say, all you see is somebody coming like, yo, they brought the new white dude here. I'm like, who? I look, I see John standing in the office. I'm like, oh, John, I see him. I'm like, what's up, John? He's like, oh, they brought me over here, man. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, man, you good now? And she was like, yeah. He was like, man, chilling now. I'm happy to be out the hole. You know what I mean? I'm like, that junk crazy, man. Like, they try to hit John with a banger charge. You know what I mean? They trying to say John had a banger inside his vent. But they won't, like, Sussex is old. I knew a lot of dudes that went down for that type of crime. Like, you know what I mean? They'll find something in their vent that's probably was in there when the Lord inmates was in on Sussex too. So like dudes will be in a hole. If they ever find something like that, then you just beat it. Because it usually wasn't a lot of people stuff in there. So I don't know if that was John Banger or not, but he was back there fighting the night charge. So he beat it on the pill. He ended up getting out, and now he's in 3D. So John come in 3D, he's trying to get his stuff together. What I did notice, man, John kind of like stopped messing with. I used to score the D block for him. He used to like that, but when he came in the pod, like I ain't see him messing around with it. You know what I mean? Like John started looking like he was getting focused, man. Like I started seeing John working out. I started seeing him just kind of like getting focused on what he was doing. Like, and that's what he used to do, man. John was one of those dudes that just, he cared about, you know what I mean, helping other people. Like that was like another default of his, because sometimes you can't care too much about helping other people because it can hurt you, especially in prison, man. Like you can't give too much help. You know what I mean? You got to be able to help yourself, and everything else is just bonus for everybody else. You can't really put yourself on the line all the time. Your bid is going to be hard. So like that's what I used to see John do. Like John was cool with the white dudes, but he made sure the white dudes were straight. He made sure kind of like they stayed kind of like, I'm not going to say relevant. Like he just made sure they never was like on a point where they was really out back. You know what I mean? They kept something to eat. They was able to make meals. They was able to do this. They was able to do that. Dudes in the pod weren't robbing them. Dudes respecting them. John, he didn't look like somebody that was like crazy tough, but he just looked like a regular dude in the face, kind of like, and they just was all right. You know, we over in 3D. It's red team over there, Richmond dudes, but they ain't really no goon activity because John and them ain't getting no package. It ain't to the point where dudes gonna steal their commissary and none of that going on. So for the most part, everybody kind of rocked it with John and them, man. So John was a Seattle Seahawks fan, man. Like that was his football team. He loved the Seattle Seahawks, man. I'm talking about he was in love with them, man. Like you couldn't tell him nothing about the Seattle Seahawks. He was one of the first dudes. This is back in what, 06? He is one of the first dudes that I met that was a Seattle Seahawks fan, so I couldn't believe it. Like, but he used to love Seattle Seahawks. So this is around the time in the NFC in 2006, kind of like when the Seattle Seahawks was balling. Like I was shocked. But this is when they had Matt Hasselbeck. They had what's the running back name? Sean Alexander. They had all the dudes on defense. Like, they was dumb strapped on defense. I can't even name all the defense, but this is before Legion of Boom. This is before all of that. So, like, Seattle Seahawks was job all right, but they wasn't impressive or nothing like that. But they was just running through. They was just running through the NFL. So it used to be this old dude who used to have this parlay. You know what I mean? He used to be in there running the parlay for a dude that was in 4 building. The whole time, John was dropping money on the dude parlay, taking Seattle every time, dropping that bread. And he ended up pecking dude head a few times. Like, Seattle had a good year. And then they, you know what I mean? When the playoffs was about to come around too, so everybody was waiting on that. But he ended up winning like a lot. So I had ran into John one time in the joint because I needed some black and miles. And I was like, look, I had seen him when we was on the yard. I seen dude pay him with a bunch of blacks and Newports and all that, the dude that run the parlay. So when I see him get that, I'm like, yo, when we got back to the park, I'm like, yo, send me some blacks. So he was like, all right, you gonna trade me? I'm like, yeah, I'll trade you a couple packs. Just give me 4 boxes. So he was like, bet, because he had like 12 packs of blacks. So he telling me like, yeah, man. He was like, man, look. He was like, yeah, I'm about to stop my own parlay, Weezy. I said, for real, man? He was like, yeah, I done got enough. He was like, look, he wanted his box because I'm at his sale. John was at sale 6 on the bottom tier, so I'm at his sale. He was like, look, he going his box. John like dumpster. All I see is Newports, blacks, Marlboros, bags of tobacco game. Like, he dumb loaded. I'm like, man. He like, yeah, I've been hitting. He was like, Seattle Seahawks. They been hitting me. Yeah, that's what I would do. He said, well, look. He was like, I'm about to run my own parlay, Weezy, man. He was like, I'm about to get somebody, you know what I mean, to draw it up for me up in here. Then I'm going to get the line from my peoples. And then I'm going to run my own ticket, Weezy. I'm going to run my own ticket. I'm like, for real? He was like, yeah, you see. I was like, that's what's up. Like, it was good to see that he done built up from coming out the hole to now where he's at. I felt like running the parlay was in his best interest, y'all. So, boom. Because it wasn't like he was going to like mess with all that tobacco product that he had. You might as well put it to use store boxing. I don't really think that was a good idea either, because sometimes people prey on the weak if you were store box. It's just something that happens in prison. You don't have nothing to do about it. But he said he was about to start up his parlay, and I wasn't mad at him. You know what I mean? I was happy to hear that. You traded him the cigarettes for the blacks, and I moved on. So I'm in the pod chilling, and he just out that joint, man. And like, I see the other white dude that he rock with, and this other black dude that he be talking to. I see them coming around with the tickets. So they pass out the tickets, you know what I mean? I get the ticket. I see it's a playoff. The playoff's about to start. So it's a good little playoff ticket, man. But I see how he got it. He got his jaw written in red ink. He got it like just some little highlighter at the top. You can tell it's his ticket. This is a different ticket from the guy that be passing out the other one. So I'm looking at the joint, and he's like, yeah, man, let's support him, man. He was like, he got the money to back it. He was like, you think you got to win? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play. I'm definitely going to play. You know what I mean? I'm definitely going to play. So I looked at the joint, you know what I mean? So I seen the ticket. I'm like, man, I seen a good 3-pick. This battle, you could take 3 picks on susses. It ended up being 3 picks early, then it changed to 4. But this is a 3-pick. I see the 3-pick in the playoff. I'm like, I'm going to pick this joint. I can't remember exactly what playoff game it was, but this is like the first round. You know what I mean? This is the first round, the wild card shot. So I play the ticket. You know what I mean? I play the ticket. Long story short, I lose. You know what I mean? I had took a couple. I think I had 1 loss. But it was a good ticket, man. But nobody really hit in the pod. Nobody really hit in the pod, man. You know why? Because like me and everybody else, everybody went against Seattle, y'all. So boom. That was where my loss was at. And I knew that's where a lot of dudes' loss was at, where they took an L at. And like I say, I wish I could remember who they played in that first round, but I went against them. I went against Seattle. I wasn't taking them. I ain't even gonna lie. Like I didn't believe in Matt Hasselbeck at the moment. But nevertheless, John pitched a jive, little no-hitter. John got a couple dollars now. He got a couple of dollars. He got a little bit of money in his pocket. He feeling good. He's feeling good. First week of the playoffs, he hit. You know what I mean? So the whole time in the pod, y'all already know it's gonna be maniacs. It's gonna be psychos. There's gonna be Terminators. And it's definitely going to be predators, man. Predators is something you can't do nothing about when it's in penitentiary. You know what I mean? Like, a predator is a patient person in penitentiary. Like, he'll have a disguise. You wouldn't even know this is a predator. The only reason I used to know dudes was predators because I had my private scanner game. But at the end of the day, man, I soon to learn that these predators are super duper sneaky. And there used to be this one dude, man, and he slept in cell too. And he was just one of these dudes that I kind of despise. Because he wasn't one of the original guys that moved from 4 building over to 3D with us. No, he was one of the ones that they brought over. Like after we got there, they moved a few people, and he was one of the ones that came in. So as soon as he came in, and I actually came down the steps, and I seen him standing by cell 2, it was immediately, my jaw was like, I didn't even have to scan. I was coming down the stairs, I was like, and I promise you, when I looked at him, it looked like he had a whole predator mask on, y'all. So boom. But I'm like, I had to shake it off. I'm like, Like, who's that? Dude was like, oh, he just moving the block. I'm looking at him. Kind of old head dude, probably like late 40s, early 50s. Short dude though, like 5'6", 5'5". You know what I mean? His posture just was all crazy. And he was ugly, man. I'm sorry, man, to judge a guy and say that about another guy. Pause. But old head was hit, man. I ain't even gonna lie, man. He just was an ugly character, man. Like, and that's why I think I saw him as the Predator dude. You know what I mean? So as I get over here, dudes were like, yeah, they be like, man, look, he out of control, man. It's the old head dude, Twan. I'm like, Twan? I'm like, I don't know him. They were like, yeah, I think he was in one building. But like, he just gave me the creeps. Everything about him gave me the creeps. So he was one of those dudes that was in the pod. Now, soon as he moved in the pod, he was one of them veterans. He got to it immediately. He was a store box. Me, I don't have the patience to be a store box. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have time to be waiting for people to pay me. I be wanting my bread. So I never was on the store box game. But he came in the pod and became a store box. He one of them old dudes, got massive stuff. And that's just what it was. Now, everybody in the pod knew this man shake, rattle, and roll. You'll see him out on the yard. He'll see a boy that's in one building where he just came from, or he'll be coming from chow hall, and he'll see a boy going to the chow hall, whatever the case, and you'll just see him. He'll be like, hey! He called the boy name, hey! Tell little mama wait for me at church. Yeah, hey, look, tell him I wrote him a kite. Ask him, did little mama, did he get the kite? I hate to put that guy name out, but that's who I don't even feel like thinking of a name to change his name. But he used to be down on this boy called Lil Mama Word. It was a boy named Lil Mama on the compound. I know it was in a block with him, but I used to see dude, you know what I mean? He was down on him. He used to be down on him crazy. You know what I mean? So like everybody already told me that he been down a minute and that's what he do, that's what he into. So the whole pod knew that's what he was into. So the pod is going smooth at this particular, even with him being in there. Cause he wasn't no like major disrespectful dude. The only thing I seen him get serious with is when he want his money. Like if you owe him money, that's when you see him get like extra serious. Now the rumors came back that he was someone that played with them things back in the day. He's been to a lot of the old prisons. He's been to Augusta. He's been to Nottoway. He's been to all the old spreads. You know what I mean? So he's one of them old timer looking dudes. He don't care about his appearance. His shirts was all like the lining on it was all messed up on his shirts, and he didn't care how he looked. He was good with state boots, state shirt, his shirt tucked in, everything. We had plenty of those type of old timer dudes in the pod. It was just he was one of the Predator dudes, man. I used to really I never talked to him. And he probably didn't like me because he asked me to do a favor before, and I just kind of like, I'm doing something right now. I kind of brushed it off because like, I just didn't rock with him. He know I ain't rock with him, man. So now it's coming up. It's coming up on the joint. So another playoff game is coming up. So everybody, another ticket come out again. Bobby wasn't messing with the NBA through the weekday. He wasn't doing none of that. He was strictly like just focusing on football in the playoffs. So another ticket come out. So everybody play that ticket. I don't want to drop it too much, but a pack on the joint. You know what I mean? I lose that ticket again going against Seattle. Seattle in the NFC Championship now. John was crazy, man. Like, I can't remember exactly how I went, but all I know, I went against them in the beginning, but all I know is Seattle made it to the Super Bowl, definitely, but now they're in the NFC Championship. However it went, I could have been wrong. They could have had a bye and they went 1-1, or however it went, man. I can't even remember, to be honest with y'all, man, but I know for a fact a lot of people was betting against Seattle that year. You would hear dudes talk about it, you know what I mean? They losing in the pod. Like, through the whole time of this situation, man, John has kind of won through this whole situation. He's been winning through this whole situation, and like, you know, for a guy that's a white guy, like I already told y'all how it is in Virginia, especially back when I was doing the bid, like, you got to be tough. You got to be strong. You got to be somebody that's not a pushover, because even with you winning, man, dudes are still trying to call your bluff game, y'all. So, boom. But John kept it cordial. John wasn't petty. John wasn't stingy. John wasn't in there trying to shine and show off that he was that guy. John did none of that. John played fair. He played fair, man. He's the other dude selling loose Newports. You want to buy a loose Newport? Give him 2 suits. You get a loose Newport. He was doing all type of, he could tell he was one of those white guys that had hustle in him. Like, you could tell, you know what I mean? He ain't want no problems with nobody. He got out the hole and he got his stuff back on track. So I wasn't mad at him for that. But the Super Bowl was coming up, and Seattle has made it to the Super Bowl, man. This is the year that they played the Pittsburgh Steelers. They going against Ben Roethlisberger, y'all. Like, they going up against that Troy Polamalu, you know what I mean? They going up against the Maniac crew, man. Like, y'all already know that Pittsburgh Steelers team was the Maniac crew. Y'all know that. Y'all know this a grace period week. Like, you know, they play the NFC Championship, then it'd be a weekday off, then they come back that following Sunday, and then it'd be the Super Bowl. So through that whole first following joint, everybody looking at the ticket that he got out. You know what I mean? So he got a sweet ticket out. Like, you can just play one game. But he like basically like whatever you put on it, like that's basically like you betting him because he likes Seattle. And I promise you, there was nobody in the pod that liked Seattle, y'all. So boom. Nobody likes Seattle. Not one person. I guarantee y'all that not one person likes Seattle, y'all. I know I didn't. And he was in the pod and he wasn't yelling out and making a big statement. And everybody know he had plenty of cigarettes and blacks. But he wasn't snapping out. It was the ticket. It was the ticket that you can play. And it was a quiet ticket that you can be like, look, you win, you bet, you win double. That's what it is. You put 2 packs on it, you're going to win 4 packs. You put 8 packs on it, you're going to win 16 packs. Whatever you put up there, you're going to win double. You know what I mean? So that was like the bet going up against Seattle. And I felt like John really felt like they had that game in the bag, man, because their defense were good. But the only thing that was throwing me off is they had Matt Hasselbeck. And, you know, Matt Hasselbeck versus Roethlisberger, I couldn't go against Roethlisberger. So I was like, man, me and my homeboy kind of talk about it the whole time. We like, man, Bobby tripping. I was like, man, for real, I was like, it's smart though, because it's him against the pod. And whoever else they got these tickets, I was like, man, for real, I was like, we should drop on that jump. So everybody talking like, yo, man, Pittsburgh Steelers gonna do them dirty, man. Like, they're not gonna beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not gonna happen. How are they gonna beat the Pittsburgh Steelers? I'm like, man, listen. I'm about to drop on it, man. My homeboy was like, I'm about to drop on it too. I'm about to drop 5 packs. So I'm about to get him out a box of cigarettes. I'm like, nah, look, here, put 15 more packs with your packs. He was like, 15 more packs. I was like, yeah, bro, I got 3 boxes. Because I had 30 packs in the cut that I wasn't even touching. 3 cartons. That's 30 packs. So I had that in the cut. So I was like, yo, bro, look, put 15 packs with your joint. I was like, I'm going to put 15 packs. Then we just, you know what I mean? We just got your joint that we got, you know what I mean? I keep my joint. So he was like, I bet, that's what's up. So I gave bro 15 packs to put with his 5. So he basically dropping 2 boxes. So if he win from his 2 boxes, he get 4 boxes. Now you owe me 4 boxes of smokes, Bobby. That's what he was gonna owe, man. Real talk, man. So like, I'm chilling. If I win, I'm gonna win 30 packs. I'm gonna win 3 boxes because I only had 15 packs left because I had 3 boxes. So I'm like, man, we just waiting. Like, yo, I was like, man, I'm gonna go holler at him. So like a couple days before the game was about to start, like everybody, you can just see everybody down at Bobby's sale bringing stuff. Everybody just bringing the stuff, everybody. And he just writing the name down and he putting their stuff to the side just like it's a parlay. Just like he playing the parlay. Just the only difference is this was basically him against whoever. You know what I mean? You couldn't go there and sell and be like, yo, look, man, I'm turning this ticket in and I like Seattle, man. Like I don't know if anybody would have done that anyway, but he couldn't take that bet. So the whole time, John just chilling, you know what I mean? John just chilling, getting the bets, everybody. So I waited. I mean, my homeboy walk over there, was like, yo, he was like, what you got, Weezy? I was like, I got 15 packs. He was like, you got 15 packs? He put it to the side. I look over there, he had a bag of cigarettes. I'm like, man, he like, you trying to beat me out of 3 boxes, huh, Weezy? I'm like, you know it, bro. I was like, y'all not beating the Steelers, bro. I'm just letting you know that now. He was like, look, man, listen, this is the Super Bowl. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I like my squad. I'm riding with my squad. I said, bro, you got Matt Hasselbeck, bro. You got Matt Hasselbeck. He was like, man, I know, man, but like, you know, man, I got dudes across the hall. There's some dudes across the hall, man. He was like, man, he dropped 4 boxes. I was like, what? So he went 8 boxes? Like, that's 80 packs. Just imagine 80 packs, y'all. That's a lot of bread, y'all. So boom. I'm like, bro, 8 packs game, bro. He get 8 packs. I'm like, yo, that joke nuts, man. He like, man, I got him. I got it, though. I'm like, all right, good luck. Good luck, man. You know what I mean? So I gave him his bet. Herb, I don't know who else the bets were, but he had a lot of stuff, but he was taking those bets. I guarantee you, he was taking those bets like it was no tomorrow, man. Next thing you know, the Super Bowl coming around. Long story short, game, Ben Roethlisberger, 21-10, Steelers, y'all. So boom, they won the Super Bowl, man. Steelers win that year. They won that year, man. Real talk, they beat them. Man, they beat Seattle, man. I think it was 21-10 or something like that. All I know is the Steelers had 3 touchdowns. That's what I do remember, man. And Hasselbeck and them was kicking field goals. That's what I do remember from the Super Bowl, man. But they lost. They lost that jump, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, when that Super Bowl was over with, I looked up at John. Everybody in the pod watching the game. John homeboy slept in cell 24. So he on the top tier by the white dude, and they on the railing like this. And they leaning over looking at the TV. They watching the game. They just watching their money go down. They looking like they still, you know how I feel like when you still got hope in the 4th quarter game, like something gonna change game. Nothing never changes, man. Nothing never changes in that damn game, that's for sure. And I just looked back at John, and he was just on the top tier, like, he had a face of disgust. He was like, his face was just looking super angry, super mean, man. Know what I mean? Game over with. I was like, everybody was like, everybody riding like, yeah, get that bread. Yeah, oh, pot, get that bread, John. Yeah, I told you. It's super loud in the pot. Everybody snapping, get that money. Yeah, get that money. Yeah, come on, John. He's like, I'm gonna pay you guys this money, man. He came down the steps saying, all this my word, he came down the steps like this. He was like, open up cell 6. Lady open the door. He went in the joint. His door in front of the whole stage. Like when he on the bottom tier, all you gotta do is just, if his door open, you look at, he on the stage. He go in the joint. All you see his boxes coming out. Shh. He grabbed a paper. He was like, he started looking. He like, hey. Call one dude in there, you see a dude come out with cigarettes. Call another dude in there, you see him come out with some cigarettes. You call another dude, you just seen that junk was like the Soul Train line. You hear me? Dudes was in and out that junk. My word, dudes was in and out that junk. So I'm waiting, I'm like, I ain't tripping, he got my bread. You know what I mean? I ain't tripping about nothing. So you hear, hey, John! Hey, John! You like, yo, somebody at the slider calling you. I look. It's a dude, you know, it's the Super Bowl. So like, I like substance be sweet sometimes. So I guess the CEO, sometimes they'll let a dude Jeff, like he can come out of 4 building like he cleaning up outside and end up shooting in 3 buildings, shoot up the steps on some maniac time, then get to our joint. So I'm thinking this what dude did. So he's like, yo, somebody calling you. So it's a dude at the slider. He got a broom in his hand. He at the slider. I don't know this dude. I see the orange Scully. He dressed kind of like he going to child and he at the door. So John come out. John was like, he walked to the slider. Then you can see dude like, John was like, well, how I'm gonna slide it? How I'm gonna pay you, man? You have to wait till tomorrow. Yeah, man, you have to freaking wait till tomorrow, man. Dude was like, yo, look, I couldn't hear what dude, cause dude behind 2 doors, dude like, he's like, well, how I'm gonna, you know, we can hear John, how I'm gonna freaking pay, man? I'm like, John crazy. John stormed back to his cell. He started paying more people. I guess the police told dude to dip. You know what I mean? So dude dip, he started paying more people. So after like 20 minutes of paying people, I finally pushed, y'all. Hey, John. He like, yo, my homie right there. He like, yo, what's up, bro? What's up? You owe 7 boxes. 3 for me, 4 for him. He was like, hey, Weezy, man, can I talk to you? I was like, talk to me about what? What's up now? What's good? He was like, man, can I try to arrange it to send you guys as the money instead of the packs? I was like, man, hold on, man. Listen, you don't have the money? What do you mean you don't have the money? You don't got all of that? He was like, man, I'm fucking out. He said, I went overboard. I took every bet that came in. I said, you took more bets than you can cover? He said, I went overboard. I said, you bet you went overboard? I said, man, I want my money, John. Like, I kind of got serious with him, let him know, I want my money. The hell is you talking about, bro? Like, he was like, all right, look, I can pay some now. But he was like, I owe that dude in 4 building, man, and he's gonna want every 5. I said, how much you owe him? He said, he's the one I told you I'm gonna freaking owe 8 boxes to. I said, man, shh. I said, so what you saying? Like, cause for real, I did rock with John, but I hate when dudes ass bet me. Like, I hate that shit. Cause I never do that shit. Like, so I take that shit personal because I'm gonna pay your motherfucking money, man. Don't come to me about no bets or asking about no bets if you ain't got intentions of paying the damn bet, y'all. So boom. But I still rock with John though, and I'm feeling his pain slightly because I know he owe every damn body. So my homeboy was like, look, if I wait, then you gotta put some interest on that shit then. Like, I ain't tripping, you gonna get it back there, right? He was like, yeah, of course let me get it back, man. He was like, but look, can I just fucking work something out with y'all? My homeboy was like, yeah, look, man, let's give us back what we put in though. He was like, I might need that too. I said, nah, man, come on, man, give my 15 packs, man. I went in and said, I was like, man, watch out, man. You were wilding. Like, after that, like, we gonna give you a break, John. But now you talk about using our money that we won. You know what I mean? Like, we put this money in to win. Like, this ain't your. I was like, man, watch out, man. My homeboy came in behind me. His celly was right there on the wall. Like, this celly got the fuck out of the way. I was like, watch out, man. Grab this shit, man. I was like, man, give my 15 pots, man. I still seen the net bag. I said, look, bro, this your shit right here, bro. He was like, man, you guys can't loan me. I said, fuck no, man. I said, look, handle that shit you got going right there, man. And we're gonna come back through later and holler at you, man. You know what I mean? We come back through later and holler at you, man. Let's take care of that right here. He was like, Weezy, thanks, man. I was like, you good, man. So we dipped out. I mean, we dipped out. Everybody still coming in sale. Everybody still grabbing shit, all type of shit. You know what I mean? All type of shit going on. So we about to get ready to lock down. He was like, man, Weezy. He said, man, I need a favor, man. I said, what, man? He said, man, look, I lost everything, man. He said, look, I need to borrow those cigarettes, man. I said, how many cigarettes you need to borrow, man? I said, man, I need something. I got to do something with some of these packs. He said, man, whatever you can loan me, man. I said, man, look, man, I can't loan you all those cigarettes. He was like, your homeboy told me he wasn't loaning me no cigarettes. I said, yeah, he's not. He's not cool with you like me and you cool. I said, so he's not going to do that. He was like, man, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. I don't have the 8 boxes to give the dude. He was like, I only have 3.5 boxes. I said, you only got 3.5 boxes? I said, man, how you only got 3.5 boxes, man? He said, man, this is fucking took every bet. Easy, man. I said, man, you in a fucking way, man. I said, man, look, man, I'll let me when you get your shit together. And I dipped on him again, y'all, because I ain't want to hear that shit again. You hear me? He just did the dumbest shit in America. I was giving him all these props for being somebody that moves smooth, and he do some dumb shit like this on the Super Bowl. I said, this nigga's a fucking nincompoop on everything. Next morning, roll around. God damn it. As soon as we step out and go to breakfast, I looked up when we was coming out. I seen the dude from 4 Building. That nigga was standing right there. He was standing right there by goddamn John. He talking to John. He's serious as a bitch. He got his gloves on. He got something like he tucking something behind his pocket or something. You can just see his posture. He like, we talking to John, and John like, yeah, all right, look. John trying to straighten that shit out. You know what I mean? John owed his fucking money out. This is my word. He let John go. We come back. John see me. I said, yo, you good? He was like, man, fucking guy say he's gonna fucking stab me if I don't get his cigarettes, man, by the night. I said, what? He said, man, I gotta get his fucking cigarettes, man. He said, man, I might have the store box, man. I said, yo, man, ain't got no cigarettes? He was like, no, he only has food. I said, oh, shit. He said, yeah. I said, man, I don't know, man. He said, man, it's my only option, man. I said, man, I don't know, bro. That's gonna be on you, bro. Like, I said, man, you know, dude wild as a bitch. He was like, man, I know, man. I said, man, shit. He looked at me, he was like, fuck, Weezy, I gotta go holler at the Predator.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way, if you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous. Did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments. Get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.